Hi friends, welcome back to the Holistic Health Podcast. We have a fun one for you today. We're probably a little bit behind the trend by the time this comes out. So I don't know if you've seen on social media, but there's a bit of a trend of like something to the effect of like, as a insert title naturopath in this context, here's what I'd tell you if I wasn't afraid of hurting your feelings. So we thought we'd roll with that. Some fun little quick messages.
These are things we wish we could say.
Yeah.
And maybe we do in other ways, but we're going to be a bit brutal. Holding your hand as we say these things, but also these are going to be rapid fire and maybe a little blunt.
Yeah. So if you're feeling a bit sensitive, please don't listen.
Maybe skip this episode.
All right. So the first one that I have is your supplements actually only work if you take them. I don't know if you know this, because I do think this happens. I do think that some people not everyone, my clients love you all, you're doing amazing. But some people tried that, didn't work. I'm like, did you try taking it, or did you just try buying it and sometimes taking it and it didn't work?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my first one.
Love it. Okay. My one is your hormones aren't the problem. Your nervous system is. And I feel like that's going to ruffle a few feathers. And I know I used to piss some people off when I used to say your hormonal acne is not hormonal acne. And that's because our endocrine system is always responding to other things that's going on. So most hormonal issues are not primary, they're secondary. And they're usually a result of nervous system dysregulation. And then if you correct that, your hormones will behave.
Magic. Imagine if you also took your supplements.
What a winning combination.
What? It's like this naturopathy thing works.
Yeah.
I should pay you more. All right. Another one from me is that your bloating isn't from the food you think you're intolerant to. It's from eating in a very quick manner or eating on the go or eating when you're stressed. I do think it's not just what you eat, it is how you eat. And I feel like maybe this is just me, but one example of maybe how you can connect the dots on this is if you've ever tried eating on a date that you're really nervous about, nothing digests. I've never felt more digestively uncomfortable than after I've used to eat after on a first date. But also, to be fair, I used to get incredibly nervous.
Yeah.
And then I'd just spend the whole car ride home trying to massage my gas out that had built up from listening to love song dedications, being like, when's my man going to come along that I just don't feel so digestively.
Doesn't make you nervous over dinner. Maybe that's the green flag you were looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Bowen still made me nervous, but now it's fine. It's all good. I can rest and digest and communicate with him.
Communicate and not have to massage your gas out after dinner.
Absolutely not.
Sure he's happy about that.
We both are.
All right, the next one is you can't out-supplement chronic stress and running on 5 hours of sleep. So I'm sure you have these clients too. And I've been one of them. So this is not a personal attack, but if you are skimping on sleep, going to bed too late, getting up too early, not protecting your circadian biology, you're running on fumes, stress and coffee, and you're just trying to take supplements to make everything else work, you're honestly wasting your time and money. You have got to get those foundations right. Otherwise, those supplements aren't a miracle cure, unfortunately.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Wouldn't it?
Actually, similar to that one, my next one kind of relates, which is that you can't fix a digestive issue if you're treating rest like it's optional. I see this a lot, actually. People will have IBS or just multiple layers of gut issues, and we do all of the things. We treat the overgrowth, or we use antimicrobials, we give digestive enzymes, we try and soothe and heal the gut lining, we use pre and probiotics till the cows come home, and yet they're still really symptomatic. And it always comes back to the same thing, is that you cannot possibly digest optimally while you have a nervous system that is just wired or completely depleted. So
yes,
start there if you're feeling like you've been trying to quote unquote fix your gut issues with all of that not conventional but first line stuff a lot, and you're not getting anywhere. I would take a nervous system centered approach first, and you might find that it's resolved. And again, a practical example of maybe where people can connect that to is if you ever go on a holiday and you're like, oh wow, I could eat so many more foods than I usually can at home, and I didn't really feel that digestively bothered by it. The only thing that's changed is your nervous system. That's usually.
Right, holiday mode.
Yeah.
Did you bring the holiday home?
Yes.
Yeah, or get rid of whatever's stressing you out at home.
Yeah.
One or the other. All right, perimenopause is not a disease that requires treating, but also if we're pretending that you don't need extra support during that time, probably doing yourself a disservice. So I'm currently seeing like two extreme things at the moment on the land of the internet. And one is people just like gobbling up HRT, you know, you need to take synthetic estrogen or you'll die or your whole life is in the toilet. And then you've got other people going, perimenopause is a natural, you know, evolution of our biology and it shouldn't be treated like a disease and you know, just leave it alone. And I mean, life is a spectrum, of course, but the truth is, if you've been looking after yourself and your hormones, perimenopause shouldn't be too challenging. But the fact is, transitions always are challenging to some degree. There's a lot of ways that you can support yourself, and it does mean it's a chapter of your life, just like if you're in newborn season, or just like if you are changing jobs or moving house, you're going to need extra support for things that are shifting, especially when hormones affect how we feel so often. So getting the right amount of support that aligns with your values and is a good match for your experience is the way to go.
Who would have thought nuance is such an answer?
What a concept.
Mind blown. Mind blown. Okay, well, the next one that I would say is that healing isn't linear, and anyone that says it is or gives you a guarantee of you'll be fixed by X time.
Yes.
BS, like run. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard when you feel desperate and you just want there to be a fix, and you also want there to be a guaranteed fix, and you want to know when that's going to happen. And I know that you would get this same question of people saying, well, so how long will I have to do this for, and when will I feel better? And if anyone actually gives you an answer to that without saying it's a range, it depends, I don't know. If someone's like, in 2 months, in 4 weeks, to me, that's a red flag. It's someone who is not being honest. Either is not being honest and is just trying to make a sale, or doesn't have experience with actual healing process, because I don't think it happens. I don't think healing is linear. I don't think you can even though I think as a skilled, experienced practitioner, you can hear what someone's moving through, and you could perhaps take an educated guess at a range of time to set realistic expectations, which I do aim to do whenever I'm, for example, like having a discovery call with someone or a client asks me that question. But I think to confidently give someone a finite answer, also when you don't know what other things life is going to throw their way in the process of healing. Yes. I think it's just irresponsible.
I think so too. And yeah, to me, it's either indicative of inexperience or it's scammy. Yeah, it's scammy. And I agree. An experienced practitioner might be able to say 3 to 6 months or 1 to 2 years, whatever. But it's dependent on so many variables. You cannot make a promise like that ever. You just cannot. I love that. That one does annoy me. This next one, though, is probably my biggest bugbear as a practitioner. So, and it's also the most annoying fact of life. That is, like, progress comes from being consistent, not some miraculous protocol. And I know it's really seductive to think just the right combination of supplements in the right way is just going to make everything okay, or some extreme sort of approach is the answer. The truth is, healing really comes from making consistently good choices consistently.
Boring.
It's so fucking boring. I know, I want to scream in frustration, but it is about getting enough sleep, enough movement, drinking enough water, eating well, taking the supplements that you've been recommended. And I just honestly feel like banging my head against the wall every time I have clients or just, people in my realm who, I'm thinking of someone in particular who I absolutely love. Who
It's not me, is it?
Yeah, no, not you. No, a dear friend. But they
Not you. No, it's a dear friend.
No,
It's definitely not you.
It's a dear friend, so it's definitely not you. No, a dear friend who's not you.
She's just digging the hole deeper.
What it is, I think it's partly a dopamine corruption thing that we have, and then an instant gratification thing that humans have now been lured into. We want an instant result. We want a silver bullet. I get it. I'd like one too. But I'm thinking about this friend, and they have worked with me, and I'm like, you need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing that. You start doing this, and you do it consistently for 3 to 4 months. And then a few weeks in, so enthusiastic for weeks 1 and 2, and then because results take a while, week 3 and 4, the motivation fades. And then next minute, like they're doing extreme juicing, and they're like booking a camp overseas for some extreme detox thing. And they're going back to the silly habits that they were doing that were causing the problem, because you default back to your habits, right? Unless you dramatically shift them and are consistent. And it just makes me want to cry, because it is such a frustrating thing about being a human, but that truly is what's going to move the needle. It's the boring shit.
Yeah, unfortunately. And speaking of plans for people,
yes.
The other one I would say is if you're overwhelmed by the plan that you've been provided, then it's not supportive for you, and it's too much.
Yes.
And I'd also add to that, though, that it is your responsibility to communicate that to your practitioner.
Yes.
That person cannot know that you feel like what they've set for you initially is too overwhelming.
Yeah.
So the only way that you move through that, and I've had this happen to me as a practitioner, where especially when, less so these days, because I feel like just experience gives you a lot. But if anyone ever does say that to me, I'm like, great, thank you for letting me know. Yeah. This is what we would prioritize then instead. So I really, it's fine to feel a little bit of discomfort. Of course, doing something new, embarking on something that requires change, it's hard. Like it requires you to feel a little bit uncomfortable. However, if you feel completely dysregulated or overwhelmed by it after you give yourself a couple of days just to wrap your head around it, because sometimes I think there's that initial like, whoa, like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot. But then if you take a moment to just read through whatever's been recommended, one thing at a time, let it land in your brain as to how that would work, sometimes that subsides, and it's just that you just get an initial overwhelm of just information. But if you are still feeling that like that, or every day you're waking up with this performance anxiety so that you can meet the expectations of this plan that's been put together for you, you need to communicate that.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's a little bit like if you're having a massage and they go, that's too hard. I
always want it firmer.
Do you? I always want it lighter.
Except this one time, oh my gosh, me and Bo got couples massage, like a Thai couples massage. We said we wanted firm pressure.
You got brutalised.
I could see Bowen out of the corner of my eye being manipulated.
It's so rough. Thai massage.
Some kind of
pretzel, a backwards crab pretzel.
Like I don't even know what to call it. He loves the firm massage, and he's a strong, fit man.
Yeah.
And he had to ask them to stop. We walked out of there like crying, laughing, and it was actually highly inappropriate of them because they were also giggling and talking in another language about us. But also, I'm someone who's like, whatever. Like, I'm glad you're having a good time, and this is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But that's the only time that when they've asked if I want more pressure, You've had
said,
to be
I'm
like,
good.
No, thank you.
Yeah. That's so funny. I can picture that, and that must have been really out there for Bowen to be like, please stop. Yeah. Oh my God.
Literally his words are like, no.
Oh, from a big tough guy. Oh, I don't know whether to piss myself laugh or like feel really scared for him.
I was dying of laughter when we walked. I tried to hold it together while we were in there because everyone else was already like the ladies were giggling, Bowen was groaning in discomfort, and I was like, I've got to hold the fort. But when I walked out of there, we both just burst out laughing and just had that moment of like, what just happened?
Yeah.
What just happened? Anyway, we haven't been back since.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my God. Well, just like Bowen did, you need to speak up if it's too much. Because, you know, as Nat said, the more experienced a practitioner is, the more like we know like what's probably OTT. But I'm definitely someone who likes to take the quickest way somewhere. So if anything, I'm probably guilty sometimes of trying to do too much. And I'm thinking of another client of mine who said very upfront, she said, I get overwhelmed really easily. I just want to take things one step at a time. So I'm like, roger that. And we were like, okay, let's just start here, just one step at a time. So it is a partnership when you work with practitioners to, you know, that feedback allows us to make sure that we're supporting you in the best way possible, and you don't have to muscle through a program that just feels really overwhelming. It means it's not right for you. It's too much. You don't have the capacity. So that's all good. Another one is, and you've probably heard me say this before, but you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. And this is kind of a broad concept and may at first appear to be just relevant to environmental illness, like mold illness, for example. And of course that's true. If you are in a water damaged building, even with remediation, you might not be able to tolerate it. But without fixing the environment, you literally will just not get well and maybe continue to get sicker. The same thing applies to an electroclimate, or if you're in a geographical area that's highly toxic, like near mines, or an agricultural area where there's a lot of pesticide spraying. Be mindful of that. But it also equally applies to things like the thoughts you think, like the environment that you're in, the choices that you make, the way that you treat yourself, and also your relationships. Like, I'm thinking of one client who had really bad skin but was in an incredibly toxic relationship and was stressed out of their mind. And I'm like, yes, we can try all of this, but I don't know how far we're going to get while you're still in this situation. And, you know, we did what we could. And unfortunately, when your nervous system is being traumatized, as we said before, it's not your hormones, it's your nervous system. It's, if an environment is making you unwell, it's not conducive to healing.
Yeah, and I'd say off the back of that, another one I would add, it's very similar, but if you have not dealt with emotions that are stored in your body, it's going to be very hard to feel physically the way you want to feel. Like stuck and stored emotion that hasn't been fully felt, processed and released is going to be expressed in either physical, behavioral or mental, emotional ways. And if you feel like you've done everything else, you've tried all the protocols, or you're doing all of the right things in quotation marks, but you still feel like you're butting your head up against a brick wall, my encouragement would be put it on pause and go and turn your attention, your resources and your energy towards doing some of that emotional processing work.
Yes, amen.
All right, I reckon we've got time for one more. Okay. So tell me that it has something to do with light or we're all going to faint.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for gifting me this. Melatonin, taking melatonin to help your sleep is almost pointless if you haven't fixed your light environment. From the president of the Blue Light Haters Club. So if you're not sorting that out and you're triggering cortisol and you're suppressing your own natural melatonin production, and then you're popping a sleeping tablet of any description, whether it's melatonin or something else, what are you doing? Like, don't. Stop that. Like, not stop taking what you need, but fix the reason why you're having a problem, please.
And we have plenty of episodes that go through light. In fact, she mentions light in every single episode. So if you just keep listening to the podcast, you'll get educated on that.
Yeah.
All right, amazing. Well, I'm sure there's more we can think of, but hopefully no one's in tears, and
yes, or feeling
that was more like a love
attacked.
Yeah, a lovely pat on the shoulder, tap on the shoulder, pat on the shoulder, whatever.
Pat on the bum.
Yeah, a little like little prod to just maybe turn towards one of the ones that felt a little bit too close to home. And we're not immune to having done many of these things ourselves, so we don't say it from a pedestal, but I think it's really important to take responsibility and just realize that there is no easy way. The only way through is literally the only way to the end is literally through what you need to move through.
Yes, and doing the things you're meant to be doing. Yes.
All right. On that note, good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.